So happy Saturday, everyone. Welcome to the Notes show here today. And our topic is marketing. And we've got Larry Hoffman and Alden Guajardo, is that right? Ivan Guerrero. And I'm just going to kick it off. We're talking about different things that we do for marketing. And I'm just going to say what we're doing right now. It's marketing. So what I did today is I wrote a post on the notecenter.com about the topic of this show. I made it keyword friendly. I submitted it to Google Search Console, so it will probably show up in searches by the end of the day. And then we have this. I created a LinkedIn event, so that gave people chances to share it with their community, and we will have visitors. We've had a couple of recent broadcasts. We've had maybe 1,000 people have seen it, and maybe even more, depends, because one of the things here is on StreamYard, it's going out on my LinkedIn channel, YouTube, Facebook, and then I sometimes will put it out on Instagram or Twitter, though I don't know why I'd put it on Twitter, but there we go. But it's just because it's one of the options. And in theory, any of the guests, like the three of you, could all share it out if you were using StreamYard to your own platforms. And I know, I think probably all of you maybe have shared these broadcasts out to your network later. So instead of tens of impressions, we're getting, hundreds and maybe thousands. So that's one of the marketing strategies. And the whole magic of any kind of marketing is people to get to know, like, and trust you. And there's almost nothing better than doing video here. And this is open. This is unscripted. We don't always know where we're going to end up, but it's always going to be interesting. And people can, anybody out there, if you just put in the comments where you're checking in from, if you have any questions or comments or suggestions, because I think we all do different things. Like, I know what I wrote something the other day and I said, do what Larry does. So because I think you've got the social media thing down, and I know Alden does a lot of great things, and I'm on track to help Ivan do more than we've been doing so far. So that's what we're doing. So maybe Larry, why don't you explain what your thing is? I noticed you added something recent. You're doing a webinar, which is really good. But why don't you just give us an overview of your general philosophy for your online marketing?
First, Greg, once again, thanks for having me. I know it's been a while since I've been on. My daughter just finished up her football, so we're all done with that. So I'm able to make it back on these meetings. I just do a lot of marketing. Either I do it personally, or I have a VA that actually helps me with it. And I just concentrate on TikTok, LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. And there are some tools out there that I've used in the past that they automate it. I've tried them I've used some of them in the past, but ultimately it just comes down to just having a calendar, either myself or my VA. I have a couple of VAs that actually work for me, and they actually help me with the social media post, and that seems to work the best for me. And what really works well is just doing the case studies, on the notes that I buy. Walking through the numbers, and also posting personal stuff. Like, I love to exercise. I run 6 miles. So whenever I take our dog out, Willow, I'll videotape that. So that way people get to know me. They get to see that I'm a real person, that, it's, these are my hobbies, and these are my interests. When I got a new guitar, I posted that. So, people just can see what I'm doing, and that, and it seems to go over pretty well.
Yeah, and I really enjoy your out and exercising in nature posts too. And the other thing is, I think what you do really well is it's either you or your virtual assistant coming up with really good graphics. Like
That's me.
Yeah, that's you. That one there says, I buy notes scratched and dented. Like, it's kind of cute. Like, you can look at it. It's kind of quirky, and exactly what you do. And it's a call to action. Call me if you got a scratch and dented note. Right?
Well, and that's where because it's I have that background in software developing and also graphic design. And so just over the years, I've just been doing these graphics. We would start it out initially like I would put my friends on like different things and, like just make different, funny things about it. And then I started incorporating them into my marketing, and people really respond to it. And the last one I did was with, like Bart Simpson, writing on the, Larry buys non-performing and non-performing notes. And, and it really went over well. I had so many people replied to that. And it's letting people know that you're in the business, but, putting a different spin on it.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, as a human being, it's just not a AI driven machine, right?
Yeah. That's all 100% me. I do those when I get a little, I'll see a post or I'll see a meme and I'll go, oh, that'll be a pretty good idea. Let me do a little different, spin on it. And then, usually within 20 to 30 minutes later, I'll have something and I'll just post it up there.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love the VA program. Are you hiring out of the Philippines, or how'd you hire them on Upwork? Or
no, I found mine on Fiverr.com.
Yeah.
And I have two. One is in India, one is in the Philippines. And the one in the Philippines, she's been with me since 2007.
It's a long
so
time.
I've made her quite a bit of money. Yeah. So because when I initially started, I started out rehabbing houses, and I was eventually up to about 5 to 8 houses a month. And so she was helping me with a lot of my outbound direct mail. So yeah, like I said, she's really been with me since I've been investing since 2006. So she's been with me a year after I've started investing.
Oh, that's great. And Alden, you're out there a lot too. And I'm going to make a comment. I've met both of you on the Known Investor University Saturday mastermind. So I think you've both been guests there presenting things there, and so I think that's part of your marketing mix to get involved with broadcasts like this, and other groups, and also the various like note shows and things like that as attendants and guests and presenters. Anyway, Alden, what's your magic sauce?
Yeah, marketing is really key. I mean, visibility at the end of the day. I have an individual that's going to join us here shortly, Eric, with Studio Captions and Advertising. So we just launched that company. And on the back of Studio Captions and Advertising, we've actually done millions of dollars in business on Facebook, as well as Craigslist and Instagram. Not so much Craigslist, actually. But the marketing, I mean, the proof is in the pudding at the end of the day. To get that main visibility and ultimately put out almost daily content for individuals to see what you're doing, and almost vlog style content on the back with Studio Captions and Advertising. It's really been honestly instrumental in our growth, from posting daily content and garnishing really views from individuals that are already in our contact sphere. So that's kind of honestly the secret sauce that I'm seeing right now. It's not even people that are seeing the content that are not associated with us. It's really the individuals that are getting that cosign almost mentally, that are already in contact with us, but also seeing the content. Obviously, that has a super win at the end of the day. It creates a regular communication, as well as individuals not having to call you to stay in contact and see what's going on at the end of the day. That content has honestly changed my life.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's not the unknown individuals that are viewing it. It's the individuals that I already talked to on a daily basis that are getting value in that content that's being posted every couple days. I'm trying to do stuff every day, really. And it's a tough thing to do daily, to post content and have daily marketing. But to have that validation of individuals that may be interested in what you have to offer at the end of the day, the opportunities that you have or the homes that you have for sale, instead of having to schedule a meeting with the individual, this marketing is already doing it and putting it on the front line. As far as what we're doing in a day-to-day basis, from flipping homes to meeting with clients. Anyway, not to go off on too much of a tangent.
No, that's great. So people get to know what you're doing without you having to get put on the phone and talk to them. One thing that Larry does really well, and Larry and I have been doing is, and Larry's really good, and thank you very much for, if I post something on almost anything, he'll like it and make a comment. And that's one way to build your online presence. If, the four of us just made a pact, anytime anybody posts anything, we like it and make a comment on it, share it if it's worthwhile. I know Ivan has shared a lot of stuff. And that really makes a big difference, because it's, gives you that validation that other people are watching and they're liking it. And anyway, on another tangent, I got a question. It just popped up about, do you guys do anything with local print media, like even something like those coffee news type things where you put a little ad? Like, I think Larry's little graphics would be perfect in there. Do you do anything with print media at all?
I don't.
Yeah.
I can, well, from a professional background, I'm a dentist, and we've tried a lot of marketing things. And actually, we have found that the local print media, the Valpaks, actually do not offer a lot of value. It really is a waste of dollars. So I don't know if that translates to.
Well, there we go.
To notes, but as far as dentistry is concerned, and even medicine, I have my medical friends say they don't waste their time on that. It'll pick up. You'll pick up, as far as the medical, you'll pick up a value. Someone's looking for a deal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
So they'll come in for that $99 special, and they'll just hop from office to office looking for that special.
Yeah. Okay. So the one thing that I think does work for dentists is, because they're all seeming to be doing, is Google business profiles, so they show up on maps, and probably some other review sites and things.
Yeah. That will be, as far as medicine dentist is concerned, that's the most effective thing that you can do. Having a patient say, do a review and give a five-star review. I don't know how that can translate to the note business, but you guys have more experience in the note business than I do, as far as marketing is concerned. Maybe you can chime in.
What it is, honestly, what I'm implementing actually is video referrals. So opposed to having, in addition to having them go on a Google and do a Google review, get them at closing on a video if they feel comfortable enough. Obviously, it's kind of tough in those situations. Not everyone wants to be on a video, but at the end of the day, those videos pay in spades. To be able to post that on your personal profile as well as your professional profile, send it out to your clients. It's fantastic.
Okay. Yeah, when I was doing the, I don't do that now, because I all my notes come from hedge fund managers, other note investors, banks. Just recently I had a few seller finance deals just come to me, and I've been thinking about like the marketing to them, buying a list and sending out direct mail. I'm still on the fence about doing that, but Alden, when you were talking about the video testimonies, I used to do that back when I was rehabbing houses. I was, like I said, I was buying between 5 to 8 houses a month. And I was fixing them and flip selling them, or, Section 8ing them, or, running them, lease optioning them. And then I would always get a video testimonial of the person moving in, and I would have those on my website. And then I would also have like a little blurb that they would like whatever they wanted to say, and then I would have that next to that thumbnail. And then when they press play, it would actually go through. And those video testimonials 100% worked really well.
Yeah,
Love it.
And do you put some of those testimonials on your websites as well?
Alden or me?
No, either one. Anybody.
When I was doing, 100%. When I had those video testimonials, I had I put them on the main page, and then what I would also do is, with being a developer, an ex-developer, it was a WordPress plugin. So I wrote a little plugin that it would just rotate through the testimonials. So it would just randomly, put like a new one there when I added it into the backend database.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. So that'd be great.
Yeah, I try to incorporate those whenever I can, even in walkthrough videos at the very end, to throw that in. Not many people are doing that. They may just post the referral video or whatever, have the single client video on their website, but to incorporate that into even the vlog style marketing that we're doing in between a vlog of walk-in homes and things of that nature definitely adds value.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll tell you another big thing that I've been thinking about doing. This is something that I used to do running Google AdWords. I had a really good response rate, and also Facebook ads. I had a really great response rate on those, and it took me a little bit to get those dialed in. But and that's with being that developer at one time, I actually offered that to. I had other clients that I actually did that for, so I know how to do it. And it's just trying to dial that in. And I was really thinking about doing the Google AdWords specifically towards seller finance notes, just because I've just really been having a lot of, landlords taking back owner finance notes and just, reaching out to me.
Okay. So what other kind of, like, I've had pretty good success with concert promotions, since we were talking about music offline before, using Facebook ads, because 30 or $40 can buy a lot of targeted views of your offer there. So and I haven't done anything with Google AdWords for a while. Does anybody have any experience with some of the other platforms like LinkedIn with paid advertising?
I've never done it.
I've done some boosting on Facebook, so creating ads, getting paid advertising, boosting posts to target market clientele. So depending on what kind of clientele you're trying to market to, I haven't gotten into so much of Google, but Facebook's actually a beast.
Yeah, it's a beast. It's easy and it's inexpensive, really.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah. Okay,
I'll tell you that what's really been working really well for me is doing the case studies and just walking through a deal. And like, for example, these two partials, I'm having this webinar at June 5th, and so I'm going to actually walk through the deals, and I'm creating like these short little videos to kind of like promote that, and putting them on LinkedIn and also YouTube and also TikTok. And and you make it specifically with keywords that you're trying to target, and that has really been working extremely well for me, with getting new people, eyes on it, and then coming over.
Yeah, so I see your
visibility is key.
Yeah, visibility is key. So you're doing quite a bit on TikTok.
Yep.
And how does that working out? You pretty well, or?
Yeah, I'm pretty terrible with keeping my KPIs. But I do know that I get a lot of engagements when I'm looking at, what I'll do is just, like every couple days I'll go into TikTok and I'll look at, if anybody's replying back to me, just, like messaging. And then oftentimes I'll see that, somebody's either direct messaged me or they left a comment on that TikTok, and then I reply back to them. And I'll tell you another really big thing that's been working extremely well in any industry that you're looking to do is if somebody is, just Google, like, for example, mortgage notes up at the top. and then you'll see all the videos coming up, and there's always, like a question, and then just, reply with a video to the question.
Yeah.
And then tag the,
Okay.
like the keywords in there.
Yeah.
And that goes over like gangbusters.
Yeah. Interaction.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, it goes back to that whole thing that, Gary Vee was talking about, that $1.80 strategy where, you leave your 2 cents on like 9 hashtags, five industries, I think, or something like 5. I think it's like 5 times. So essentially what you're doing is you're leaving like a $1.80 comments, and they're just not like all good posts and, hey, good job. I mean, these are like meaningful comments where you sit there and you read their article, and you digest it, and you go in and you really talk about it. And I'm telling you that works extremely well.
Yeah, because people say, well, if you make an interesting comment, they say, well, who is that? And then they click on your profile, and then they find out what you're doing otherwise. And it may be, it's amazing the power of that. The other question I have is how much do you do with email lists? Do you have newsletters? Do you broadcast regularly? What kind of stuff are you doing?
I do. Yep. Yeah, I was doing a weekly newsletter. So, and the newsletter went over like gangbusters. And typically what I do is I just had like a weekly recap of just like something that, my kids and I, or my wife and I did, like hiking, like a concert or whatever. And then I would have like a section about the notes that I'm analyzing. And then I would have a section of like, real estate on the news, something like related to real estate, like when that Sam Frankman-Fried broke out. So I had a great big analysis of that. And then I went to once a month. Now I'm going to once a quarter, just because it's just a lot. And then I have a LinkedIn newsletter that people subscribe to. So essentially I just take that same newsletter and put that in the LinkedIn format and blast that out.
Yeah, I think the thing here is you create once and you put it everywhere, really.
Right.
And I the LinkedIn newsletter is very effective. Like I've subscribed to a few, and it shows up, it gives you a notice in your email, and it shows up on your LinkedIn. It's very effective. So that's a very good thing to do. It helps if you like to write a lot.
Right. Well, and the other thing that I do too is, I with all these contacts with these asset managers and bankers and hedge funds and, other note investors, I have a database of like over like 5,500 emails. And I just send out an email, once a month, just, saying, hey, do you have anything on your books you're looking to move? I'm still here. I'm interested in buying.
Sure. Yeah, no, that's great. Yeah.
Yeah. On that note, you guys were mentioning the power of LinkedIn. LinkedIn, I think, has evolved over the past couple of years from just business and applying for jobs and things of that nature. Now it's more social. So people are really diving in and putting strategic advertising into LinkedIn. I think I'm not utilizing it enough. But that being said, I think that there's definitely stupid potential for the upward potential for LinkedIn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I think LinkedIn is very key to almost everything I do in various groups with if I have a client, almost the first thing we do is create a LinkedIn meeting group, because that's the easiest way to keep in touch with everybody. Then also create a Google folder for all of the content stuff. But LinkedIn, and I've hosted a number of networking groups. I'm not a big fan of networking groups, and some of the people who showed up regularly really needed to figure out how to do it better, because almost the first thing I do is I'll go into their LinkedIn profile, right? And if they're talking about, if what their LinkedIn profile talks about is something they're not talking about in the network meeting, then they instantly lost credibility. And if I look, there's somebody I want to invite to be a host, a guest on a show or something, I looked at their LinkedIn profile and I looked at their website, and if it's total garbage, then they're not taking themselves seriously, I think. So
well, that I 100% agree. I mean, for me, LinkedIn is the main one that I would focus on, and then not having, like Larry Hoffman at gmail.com
Oh, yeah.
as your business account, ljhinvestments.com, have a professional
Yeah.
website. And one of my pet peeves is, and I see this more recently with LinkedIn, where it's becoming more political. And, I always view LinkedIn as more of a, like, just business,
Yeah.
and everybody has different opinions politically, religiously, and that's fine. That's what makes, the country great. But it's just one of those things where I just think it should be more like business related. And, this is how I can help you, and let's just connect, and let's see if we can do something great together.
Yeah, no, that's good. I'm seeing more like chat based, sort of scammers or hustlers kind of thing. And then some of those things are AI driven. So
I've been fortunate. I haven't seen that yet on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
I get that a lot on TikTok. A lot.
TikTok, yeah, I would
Yeah.
say. And
I can
Facebook.
vouch for LinkedIn because
Facebook.
since my main, I'm actually thinking of separating my professional profile to my business profile, because I get a lot of scammers on LinkedIn. Actually, not. Let me rephrase that. I get a lot of people soliciting me for service, for their service. I remember years ago when I first made my LinkedIn profile, someone from an insurance company contacted me and invited me to lunch, and I told them repeatedly, no, I'm good, I got everything. And ever since then, I've been bombarded with opportunities and insurance agents and whatnot. Yeah.
So has that beautiful girl from Singapore, now living in California, reached out to talk to you personally yet?
Yeah, they're I can pull it up right now. I say, hi, I'll read it to you. Hi, I've read your profile. Your profile is amazing. You've done a lot of amazing things and so on and so forth. And I read it. Yeah.
Anyway. That's awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah. So anyways, yeah, that's part of the beauty of being online, is you're kind of open to all sorts of things. But yeah, but I've had almost no negative reviews or anything so far. And I sometimes will get in my Facebook thing. I can't help myself from commenting on a few things. I try to be discreet, but
Yep.
but it's not always. Yeah, no, it's so I think the main thing, the Dan Kennedy thing about marketing, is you have to have your message clear. And then the medium is everywhere, right? So the summary is, if you aren't putting out your message and your offers and your invitation to, 21 different places, you're probably not doing enough. And all of you are using a range of platforms. I'm going to go back to I popped on the Node Investor University Mastermind class today. And anyway, Patrick was pushing me to mention what they do. And one of the things that they do, that you guys do to some degree, but Desi, almost all of his people got brought in because of his YouTube posting strategy, because he started off by posting almost at least one thing a week, posting and with an invitation into something. And I think all of us could probably do more of that, but
yeah, that's I do. God, I guess it was about a month ago. I was doing one short a day, and then one long form content a week, and I kind of got out of it. And so, but I typically do 2 to 3 shorts and a long form in a week.
Yeah,
because I'm telling you, it 1,000,000% helps.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work, though. That is tedious to have to dedicate that time to put out that content, and it's easier said than done for individuals thinking that it's easy to put out daily content and things like that. So I commend you, Larry. Love that.
Well, that's what typically what I do is, out of the long form content, you can just break them up into little, 60-second chunks. And then I have my either when I have time, I'll put them up there, or my VA actually helps me put them up there.
Yeah. And one thing, like you mentioned some tools, and I've been using Meet Edgar. It's kind of like HubSpot.
Yep.
And the one thing about that is, if I get inspired to post something, I can create a graphic or create something fairly quickly, write some text. I like writing, and post that and put it out in 20 different places. And I can do that, in a few minutes, so, and then I'm off doing something else. So it doesn't have to take a ton of time.
Yeah, you can use tools like Hootsuite. I mean, there are tons of them out there that you'll be able to utilize.
And even things like the videos you've already created with like Hootsuite would probably do it, but Meet Edgar, you can just add a link to that video, or you can upload the video to it and post it. It's pretty flexible.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty simple. I mean, it's one of those things where when it's like anything that like exercising, right? When you first do it, it's like, oh my God, you got to getting into the groove of things. But it's like when you actually start firing on all cylinders and you create this content, it's just like so easy to have these tools to where you just go in and just slices it up. And then, you can either generate the content or you can have AI generate it and then put it up there.
Well, you probably have 2 or 3 lifetimes worth of stuff just in your archives. You can just
pull
things out and post it again, right?
Yeah.
If somebody said if you posted the same thing 5 times on one day on Facebook, nobody would see it twice.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean that's the whole thing. It's just being in front, because I forget whether it was like Dan Kennedy or Ronald Grant. Life is a moving parade, right? You just never know where they are, and that it's that the 3M's, the market, message, and the media, and so you always have to constantly be in front of that person because you don't know where they are in that particular cycle.
Yeah, no, for sure. And then there's the Russell Brunson thing about fishing in the right pond, right?
Right.
And that's what I have my problem with the people in some of these networking groups is they've been fishing in the wrong pond for years, right? They're presenting something. There's almost zero chance there's somebody going to be there in the meeting that is interested in, and almost zero chance they're going to refer to anybody. So why are you doing it? Really, you need to find your tribe, your community.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's tough to step out of your comfort zone at the end of the day to, go into a different setting, or when you've been pitching to the same people, like you were saying, Greg. Definitely important to expand your network at the end of the day and attend different associations and different conferences and get out of your comfort zone.
See, I always view, it's funny, I always view everybody as a seller, a buyer, or a funder. So, and so I have like different messages for each one, depending on the circumstance that I'm talking to them at. And so I don't know. I mean, it's been doing quite well for me, because everybody has different things that they're trying to do. Right.
Yeah.
That's highly transactional for sure. It's important to, read the room for sure, evaluate who's the individual to talk to at the end of the day, depending on what you're trying to accomplish.
Right.
Definitely important.
So are you guys all going to DME this coming up, Nashville?
Yeah, so we'll be at DME for sure. Would love to meet up with anybody that's attending.
Unfortunately, I can't make it, so
I won't be there either.
Yeah. You guys can have fun for me. Greg, you can take my place in the axe throwing event.
Yeah, for sure. So actually, why don't we just put in a plug for those as a good place for marketing, right?
Make sure you have a couple of drinks before you throw that axe.
Yeah, I saw one that was actually made out of plastic, a little axe. It was a little event here. I just assumed that you guys are throwing real axes. But maybe
have you thrown an axe? It's not that easy.
It's not that easy, no. And I still think mixing axes and alcohol is not a good idea. But anyway. But okay, about these things like DME device. What does that stand for? Somebody
Diversified Mortgage Expo.
Mortgage Expo, and then there are a bunch of other notes and real estate related events. Do you want to just list off the ones you've gone to and the things that you highly recommend?
Paper Source was great in Vegas. Yep. I hear the individuals that were running that actually fell on some hard times, so they didn't have it this past year. But the Note Expo was actually great. Eddie Speed's event in Dallas. Trying to think what other events we gone to, but DME was great as well last year.
So did you go as just as an attendee, or did you have a booth or a vendor or presenter in some way?
Yeah, so last year we just were in attendance and actually turned out great. And this year we a little more full force. So
Yeah.
we'll be speaking as well as having a breakout room and a booth. So kind of hit the trifecta.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
the
great.
paper source is really good.
Yeah,
Paper source is great.
paper
Yeah.
source is great. Yeah, I'm not going to make it this year, but one year I really love Nashville. I don't need much of an excuse to go to Nashville. So
Yeah, that's only 4 hours away for me, and I won't be there because I have my kids that weekend.
yeah,
Yeah, I actually that's where I not DME but paper source. Not to get off on too much of a tangent, but that's where I met the Note Investor University. So that was a great relationship with Desi and Patrick to be
Yeah.
able to solidify and be introduced to their program. Definitely was advantageous.
no, that's great. Yeah, that's the first time I met you. As you were at one of the Saturday sessions, I think. You did a
Okay,
presentation.
yeah. So
Yeah.
they had us on video recording on a Saturday. It was probably 6 months ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, hey, DME.
DME.
People need to come out to DME. Let's see some people come.
Yeah. Come on by. Say hello.
Throw some axes.
Throw some axes.
So, hey, Greg, are you going? Are you going to DME?
No. I would like to, but this year isn't the year for me to go. Maybe
Okay.
next year I'll go, and some of the other things.
I went to a syndication conference in Vegas. I guess it was about a couple years ago, and I took my fiance there, and it was like a 3-day event. And I only did 2 of the 4 days. The other 2 days, I'm like, I'm going to blow the rest of this off. We went out to the Grand Canyon and all this other stuff. So when I get there, I'm like,
Well, there's a reason why they have conferences in Orlando, right? A lot of people go, they sign up for the conference. They don't actually go to much.
Yep,
and it's something the family could be off doing stuff anyway.
Yep, 100%.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, on that note, on conferences, I'd love to try and leverage my relationships and bring a conference here to Arizona. There's not much going on this side of the country as far as education on real estate notes, and been talking a little bit with Nathan Turner as well as with the individuals that run Paper Source. I think it's a potential for great opportunity in a top 10 market. So just putting that out there a little bit.
Just putting it out there. Well, here's an idea that's about 30 seconds old. We could do it a virtual online summit, where I've done 2 now with StreamYard. Basically, you have a guest every 30 minutes, and you have somebody up, they talk to them, interview them, talk about what they're doing. Then the next guest comes up, and some of them have been pre-recorded. So, if you're interested, we could do something like that, like a virtual summit thing.
I'd definitely be interested in that for sure.
Yeah. So there we go. What's that line? Friends don't let friends think. They probably shouldn't think out loud on live broadcast, but I think it'll be fun. It'd be fun.
That's
really.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the idea for sure, because it's definitely hard to attend in person. Events. We all have got things going on at the end of the day, but to be able to get that value from a stream or whatever you want to call it, it's definitely.
Yeah, and we would do the registration thing and then replays and all that stuff, the whole works. And we've had there's about 10 different people who come onto this broadcast and everybody's doing something different. They and have a different spin on what they're doing, and I think it'd be really good.
Yeah, I'd definitely be interested in that. Would love to put it out to my network.
Yeah.
Possibly have a guest speaker. I attend Azria frequently, so could maybe have a player from Azria come on the show. Would love to try and contribute and help out any way I can.
Awesome. That'd be great.
Be great. Yeah.
So is Eric coming? Have you?
He was supposed to join. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, Erica is running Studio Captions and Advertising that provides convenience to posting social media content, so videos, as well as scheduling the content like Larry was doing with his VA. Love that, to be able to sit down once a week and get video content, or even film it yourself and be able to send it over and provide an edit for captions and some small graphics to be able to put on a great show, once a day or whatever. Once a day is a little aggressive, but the proof is in the pudding. I mean, it's definitely advantageous, and top of mind awareness is definitely important to portray what you do and what you're looking for at the end of the day. Anyway, love Studio Captions and Advertising.
Yeah, once a week is doable. That's something most people can manage. Put something together once a week.
Definitely a lot easier.
Yeah. So, any other last secret sauce, words of wisdom for marketing? Just other than just get out there and do stuff and experiment, try things.
Be consistent.
Yeah, be consistent. Yes.
I mean, that's, there people's, it's one of these things where people think that there's some secret sauce. I mean, the only secret sauce is just being consistent.
Showing up.
That's it. I mean, if you can waste all this money on this third-party software, and it's if you're not engaged, I mean, you're not gonna connect with people.
I think even now, because of the AI is in the process of, there's a television program, Kids Ruin Everything. I think AI is ruining marketing, because people can crank out a whole pile of stuff that looks really good, sounds good, but it's not authentic. So now I think what we're doing now, getting up in person and being a real person, is going to be even more valuable than before.
As my 2 cents is that about 4 or 5 months ago, I generated a AI, sorry about that, an AR article, and I got maybe 10 responses from that article. And I wrote something really small on LinkedIn. I think it was maybe some comment that I made on something on the news, and that generated more views and comments than the AI article.
Well, hey, Dr. Ivan, that you just, when you said that, I'll tell you what really works extremely well for me is when I see some news, like on YouTube, like all this thing with the squatter rights and things like that, and Florida passed that law. I did a video just talking about that, and then linking to the video and or the law that they're going to pass. And I mean, it just exploded. And another thing is when you do live videos of like walkthroughs of looking at the physical asset, and huge.
Yeah, for sure. With LinkedIn and many of the platforms, people will sell you programs to reach out and send text messages and stuff. And one person, I saw a presentation that basically said everybody they've ever known who tried that ended up getting their accounts blocked. It's like, and it's just, I think it's one thing. LinkedIn, you can go find somebody who's in your space and you can send a text message and be personal. Doesn't take too long. But, once you get those, the spams from the girl in Singapore, it's what it has to be. You have to be cautious about it. I've had people reach out, even that I known, and reached out with some of those tools, and it's just annoyed me. I'm tempted to reach for the block button.
Well, there's a Google plugin. It's Octopus CRM. Yeah. And so you can install that. It's for LinkedIn, and you can do like 5-10 connections a day or whatever. Yeah. But even with that,
I'm sorry.
It's Octopus CRM.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I used it in the past. I've stopped using it just because I prefer just to make that personal connection, either myself or I ask my VA. She has my credentials to log in and just reach out to the person.
Yeah. You had mentioned before, even when we're talking about tools for posting, if you've got your content, like I've used Meet Edgar and those other things, but really, if you've got your content, it only takes, maybe 10 or 15 seconds to post it to each platform.
Right.
And then you can customize it as you're going. So you can put it up there. Like sometimes I look at it, I write it, and I get a chance to review it, and I see something I can improve, right? Or, and then after the 17th one, I realized I typed Alden Guajardo's name wrong. So it's the name I always miss. I don't know. It's psychological or something. The most critical thing to mistype is usually the one I've got it. And sometimes I won't even notice it for a while. Right. So, but yeah. So all these things, none of these things require expensive tools. Almost everything you can do for free. It's just a matter of time and putting some effort in it. And, and there are people I can help with things. And as you mentioned, there are virtual assistants available, some pretty good for reasonable rates. And, it's really not onerous to do it. Just you have to, as you said, Larry, need to be consistent. If you're going to do something 3 times a week, do it 3 times a week or once a week, at least once a week. That's a good target for some people. If you do something once a week, that's a good place to start.
Exactly.
Others will do it more. I receive email from Dave D. He writes it every single day. He likes writing it. It's almost all, he'll bring things out that he's done before, but he likes writing about, and something what you said, Larry, is something, a personal experience, something he saw, something he's done, and then he'll bring in some kind of business lesson out of it, and then there's links to do something else. And I'm a bit weird, one time I didn't see it there, so I signed up again because I missed it, and so I've subscribed 3 times, but I need to join a 12-step program for that, I think. And again, I followed him for 10 years before I actually did anything paid with him. So you can't give up on anybody. You just, when people are ready, it's their time, then that's the time to jump in. Anyway, so this has been a great conversation. I think I hope people got some really good nuggets here and secret sauce. But again, it's not that hard to do. Just be consistent, go out and do it. And as some people say in the network marketing, just open your mouth. just say.
Well, that's easy for me to say.
Well, with you being a dentist.
Yeah,
exactly.
Actually, sometimes I don't even have to say it. I just come close to the patient and automatically they open their mouth. So it's magic.
I heard a joke. There was somebody who was talking to a potential client, and they were just, remember, the client was talking so much, and then they said, I wish I was a dentist, I guess, so that you could slow down the talking by sticking things in their mouths. But
I always think of that Seinfeld episode when Kramer called Jerry an anti-dentite. I just lose it all the time. Love it.
But if you want to get a real laugh, I'll end on this note. Look up Tim Conway and the Cara Burnett show. They've done a skit with a dentist. Every time I've seen it hundreds of times. I just laugh every time I see it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. There we go. You heard it here. Well, we'll have to put that link to that video in the show notes.
Okay.
Okay. So I think well, thank you very much, Larry and Alden and Ivan, for joining us today. And I think we've really provided some really good insights, because it's what we do, and you're having a lot of success from it. And the things that we've talked about, some of the things that didn't have success, and that's the whole rule, is try stuff, and whatever works well, you double down on it. If you find a Facebook ad that works for $30, and keep on putting money into it until it stops working. So, yeah. Okay.
All right.
Yeah. Any last comments?
I said my last piece, so I'm okay.
Okay, you're okay.
Not for me. I really appreciate this, Greg. Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, no, happy to be here on the most prolific show in this century. Happy to be here.
Yeah. Well, it's the most prolific show that's running at this moment.
Anyway, enjoy your weekend, guys. Thanks a lot, Greg.
You
Thanks,
too. Happy
Larry.
Memorial Day.
Thanks,
Be safe out there.
Okay.
Okay, we'll do. Thank you. Bye.
See you guys. Bye.
Bye.